Hello, everyone, and welcome to Post Crisis Chat. Welcoming you back. I am your co host, Cookie, and with me, as always, is the ever present, ever dapper, ever handsome.
My name is Randy. I'm so glad to be here with you. If you're a first time viewer, welcome. Please remember to like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so you get those notifications next week when we upload our next episode. Because aren't you excited to hear what's going to happen next?
Exactly. And you don't want to miss out on my beautiful face and voice, he said sarcastically. And it sounds like such a small thing to do, but it really does help the channel grow. And like milk, likes are like the healthy body and everything. I don't know, that was a terrible thing, but we're going to keep it in because I'm stupid and I say stuff like that. But if you're not a first time viewer, welcome back. We are very thankful to have you here.
And yes, please check us out on our socials. You can find us on Blue Sky and Patreon. Patrons get access to the Post Crisis Chat Book Club.
Yes, and that's going to be a wonderful book club. It's going to put Oprah to shame. We will tell you a week ahead of time which issues we will be recording a show for and give you a chance to comment on those issues. We'll read some of your comments on the channel. We'll probably just pick them at random. It'll be like, just randomly, just there we go. And then you're going to be getting a shout out. So it's cool to do.
Yeah, it's so much fun to hear your name. You see somebody talk about you and what you said on YouTube. It's happened to me before. It's always a thrill. Please be advised though, we will be talking about decades old spoilers in the issue we are discussing today. So, don't get mad at us if you haven't read it yet because it's been like 40 years. Go read more comics. So, today we're going to be talking about issue 30, Saga of the Swamp Thing. Yes, there's that cover right there. It is written by Alan Moore with pencils by Stephen Bissette and inks Alfredo Alcala. That is, I think, the first time we have changed inkers, with the exception of the fill-in issue, which Bissette did not do the fill-in issue. It was a different inker. But the whole time up till now, it's exception the first issue and the fill-in issue, it has been Stephen Bissette and John Totleben. So yeah, it's interesting that we have a new inker.
Yeah, I was a little shocked and surprised. I'm not going to lie. When I first opened it up to see who the creative team was on it, and I saw the name, I was like, yeah, he's gonna say this one first. I'm not taking the risk. I'm gonna let you handle that one.
I think I got it right. If I didn't, let us know in the comments. So we open the book with a series of text and images showing how Anton Arcane's return to life is causing chaos in nearby areas. It makes a point of showing Abby screaming, and Arcane looks upon his works and he deems them good.
I absolutely loved this whole sequence. The panel layout was beautiful. I thought
It
that
is.
was really good. Even the creepy things that were happening, like the one that got me, and like I don't have kids that I know of, was the cat going to sleep in the baby's crib. I was like, you didn't even have to say anything beyond that, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. I was like, oh, that is some dark stuff right there. And
Yep,
then with Anton Arcane doing the whole and it was good. I was like, that's very biblical.
exactly.
That was kind of
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Oh no, I'm pretty much. I was probably gonna say the same thing that you were gonna say. Like it had this like almost dark biblical feel to it, and so evil and beautifully done.
To me, it was like when he looks upon his work and he deems them good, he thinks of himself as God. And you went
Yes.
biblical, so I mean, we were in the same thought process there. So I'm sure that is what Alan Moore intended for us to feel when we saw that. Arcane starts to tell Abby a story. He describes his death in gruesome detail. His soul was sent through the cobwebbed lands to the domain of bodiless men. Could this be hell?
That's kind of what I took it as. I mean, like even just looking at the images here, it almost has a look of hell because the bodiless people, all look like they're writhing, kind of in pain a little bit, which you always imagine as being hell. So that's kind of how I took it. I want to do add though that it's not just gruesome detail, but it's also very poetically written. Like he's using a lot of really like flowery kind of words to kind of emphasize a lot of the stuff that's going on. This is not the kind of way I imagine any human being talking, only a maniacal maniac, which works for both Anton Arcane and Alan Moore.
Valid. And just as a reminder, the things that Arcane experienced were due to his battle with Swamp Thing, where Swamp Thing killed him.
Yes, and there's not an episode for that because we jumped on at Alan Moore's jumping on point, and we missed out on all of the previous Swamp Thing swampiness.
I also want to make a point about the art during the scary parts of this while Arcane is telling his story. The art in this area is exceptional.
It really is like even stuff that like because there's one panel where his face kind of doesn't look as good as like some of the other panels, but it's still creepy enough and goes well with all the other imagery that it's just it this like after last issue jumping into this issue, it's starting to feel like this is a true horror comic. Like everything in here is gruesome and I absolutely love it.
Absolutely. I agree completely. Abby figures out at that point that Arcane has taken over Matt's body. And as we kind of touched on in the last issue, Abby and Matt had sex after Arcane had taken over the body. And Arcane being Abby's uncle, just ew. No. Um, really good job to Alan Moore for creeping me out.
Oh yeah, the only thing I feel like he kind of dropped the ball on a little bit is she should have been even more creeped out. Like there should have been. I mean, like you're. This is the kind of thing you do not recover from psychologically. So I feel like even though she's freaking out, she's still taking it kind of in stride. So I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like, there's some later panels where she is looking pretty freaking messed up. Like she's got her head in her hands, and you can see the tears rolling down her cheeks. I mean, oh, it's she seems to be taking it pretty hard. And we actually find out through Arcane that Matt is no stranger to monstrosity. Matt succumbed to his own lust by using his reality warping powers, which Arcane says that Matt squandered his powers on trivial things. Which, going back to that issue where we saw him watching the pole dancer in the palm of his hand, that was a good bit of foreshadowing, you know, what, 5 or 6 issues ago?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
was
can see our prior episode for more discussion on that. Oh, and when he made
exactly.
Abby's clothes move, I mean, that was. And Arcane's like, he's Matt's got this gift and he's just wasting it.
It kind of really makes you like wonder like did he have like all this stuff planned so far in advance that he knew exactly how to start dropping hints in the early issues because yeah a lot of these callbacks are like I was reading this I was like oh okay now I'm starting to kind of see the pieces kind of fall into place and it's really kind of interesting. His powers, like, I didn't realize they were that I thought he was just doing, like, basic, like, images and stuff of, like, creeping on girls in his imagination. It sounds like it kinda went a little bit more in depth than that.
Right? And then we also find out that Arcane was behind the release of the Monkey King and also behind the car crash that almost killed Matt and let Arcane worm his way in, or fly his way in there, as it were.
That was very punny. Uh, but I like this because it a lot of stuff that I was kinda like, okay, it's just typical random comic book stuff happening. Like, okay, every week or every month you read a comic book and there's just random events happening and stuff. And then finding out that Arcane is pulling the strings from
The whole
behind the
time.
curtain. I was like, that's really, really well done. Really kind of like sets him up as like, okay, this is a bad dude.
And how I'm thinking about it as you're talking about it. How far back was Arcane pulling the strings? Because the whole Monkey King thing with Paul's parents happened long before Abby ever got a job at the house where the autistic kids stay. So
Oh,
did he arrange Abby's job so that he could then arrange the Monkey King coming back, or did he just bring back the Monkey
yeah.
King once? once it had already happened and Abby had a job there. I don't know. I mean, it's fun to think about.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a real mystery there, and I got a feeling we're never gonna get the full, like,
Yeah,
mystery reveal,
I think that's left
but
to us to figure out. To our viewers, how long do you think that Arcane has been pulling the strings in the background? Let us know in the comments below.
yeah, I'm kinda curious on people's thoughts on this because my thoughts are still kinda scrambled at the moment, like, I'm still kind of like I literally just read these before we started recording and everything, so I have it fresh in my mind, and I'm still kind of in shock a little bit. I'm still, like, piecing it all together of like, "Okay, this really was a big reveal, kinda came out of nowhere." I was not expecting Arcane to return, so still dealing. I need some tea and some, like, moments with myself now.
We want to know what you think. Put your comments down below about what you think about the issue. Let us know if we missed something because I want to have these conversations about comics with people, and I like it when you show me something I missed, or when you say something and it helps me realize something else, and we kind of play off each other. I want to see that down in the comments below too. So everybody, make sure you put your thoughts and ideas down there in those comments. Anyway,
Exactly. Yeah, I just wanna throw out there, it's like, yeah, I love that idea. I mean, you gotta help some brothers out here. We don't have social lives or friends. You guys have kind of now, become our friends. So, help us out. Be friendly.
all right, so then Arcane says Matt surrendered willingly and with no remorse to Arcane. Honestly, I think Arcane is telling the truth there. I mean, he could be lying, but I personally think he's telling the truth.
Yeah, I don't I think there was no remorse whatsoever.
And then next we see hands reach up out of the ground and start dragging Abby into the floor. Where could
That
he
was
be
pretty
taking her?
I would have at the time assumed hell is where they are going, but I don't know for sure. That's always been a recurring nightmare for me is hands coming out of nowhere and pulling me into like nothing. That's always been a creepy thing. So like that whole panel kind of gave me the shivers a little bit.
I haven't had any issues with that, but what always gets me, I'm going to digress here for a little bit, but that green slimy hand coming out from under the bed, grabbing your ankle and then pulling you underneath. Stephen King had a book about that. Creepiest thing by Stephen King I have ever read. It messed me up for life, and I read it when I was a young teenager.
Stuff like that will mess with you. And that's probably what got me was like either a horror movie or a comic or something kind of got to me. And it's just now it turns into a thing of I don't like being touched unless I'm paying for it.
Now, one thing I do want to mention, when Abby's getting pulled down on the ground and you see just the top of her head and just her eyes and mouth, like that section of her face, that's the only thing left above the floor level as she's getting dragged down into the floor. Absolutely the best face that Bissette has ever drawn. That face looks amazing.
I love it. And as a comic nerd, especially an aspiring artist and stuff, I growing up reading comics and seeing the art and stuff, I've always loved it when there's an open mouth, when someone draws an open mouth and there's the little bits of saliva dripping down from the teeth and they do that. It just adds, especially in horror, it adds like that terror of it's like you're so freaked out you don't even realize that you're basically drooling and spitting on yourself.
No doubt. It like looks amazing. Didn't we switch and see some more instances of bad and disturbing things happening in the area surrounding where Arcane is, including children microwaving a kitten? And I mean, look, I'm mostly a dog guy, and I'm usually not bothered by many scenes in comic books. But yeah, I mean, I'm not bothered by many scenes in comic books. Glenn getting beat to death with a bat, notwithstanding, but that scene really disturbed me.
I've watched enough horror and stuff in my life that like animals being killed in horror movies or in comics and stuff like that, it doesn't bother me only because it's like I know it's not real. I will say though, like off topic, it's like the Glenn thing, like that emotionally traumatized me. Like I think I like for like a solid month was depressed and just like cuddled up in bed because that how graphic that was.
Yeah,
I, I will
I quit reading The Walking Dead over that. I put down that issue and I literally never bought another one.
I don't blame you because that was hardcore. It's it is disturbing though. I mean, like I said, it doesn't freak me out or anything, but it is like a disturbing, and I think it's just because the way that it's drawn, the image, the light, the cat's hair standing up. It's like that's the kind of stuff that is horror comics right there. That is just really disturbing.
And there's almost no detail in the cat. And, the one child's face looks really bad. We're back to bad faces from Bissett. But just the outline of the cat with the way you were standing, the way it was standing, like you were saying, yeah, no, it's disturbing, and
It's
it's a horror
yeah,
comic, so it's supposed to be disturbing.
yeah. But the only one that like okay, so you got the woman that's gonna stab her sister with like the crochet needle. You got the cat in the microwave. You got the beta fish, at least they look like beta fish to me, eating each other. And then you got some stuff with some birds and some sharks in the ocean. The one that really kind of got to me, I was like, I don't understand this, why it's so creepy, was the ladybugs. I've never heard of a human being ever being attacked by a ladybug. So why was this in a horror comic? What was so scary about ladybugs?
Well, when there's that many of them and they're overwhelming you and crawling into your mouth and nose so you can't breathe, I think that's what it was. That's my take on it. Because you see
If
somebody
that's what it was,
falling into like this sea of ladybugs.
I just imagine if you fall into a sea of ladybugs, you're just gonna pop up with a bunch of ladybugs on top of you, and they're gonna be crawling you and kissing you and just being ladybug like. They're not horrible bugs. I don't get it. But I mean, I can see your point. You have something crawling on you. If something crawls on me, whether it's a ladybug or anything, I will instinctively freak out. So I see your point. I do kind of get it.
Now, I want to go back and talk about the cat for one more moment. So we've talked
That
in the
that's
past.
perfect timing because just a little behind the scenes curtain thing for the fans. As you said that, my cat came strolling in.
And my dog is currently trying to tear up a box by my feet because I'm not paying attention to him. So
I was wondering.
apparently, the animals have it today.
Yep.
Anyway, I wanted to talk about the cat real quick because so now talked about this in previous episodes. I think Alan Moore doesn't like dogs. So we're up to 3 dead dogs and only 1 dead cat. I still posit that he does not like dogs.
It's possible. I mean, not everyone's a dog person, but I kind of wonder if it's just he knows dogs are going to get a better reaction. Because I mean, let's face, I'm a cat person. I love cats, obviously. But even I recognize the fact that like you cannot walk around town and be like, "Hey, I'm not a dog person," without someone looking at you like you just punched their mother in the face. So they get more reactions.
Next, we switch to outer space with the Monitor and his minion watching the Earth, and his minion does not. I can't remember her name from reading Crisis, but his minion does not look the same as she does in Crisis. But you know what? This was probably written
Oh,
months in advance. So anyway, the
okay.
Monitor and his minion are watching Earth. They mention that they are seeing powers and abilities on the 800 scale. And then they mention that 600 scale is supernatural beings. 800 scale is the specter or the demon. And this is arcane that they are detecting, indicating he is on the level of the specter is insane to me. That is like so powerful, so incredibly powerful.
Well, exactly, because basically the Spectre is a well, he's the wrath of God. So basically, he's a piece of God. So to be on that level or bigger, that's like, yeah, what are you dealing with here?
And I wonder if maybe Arcane is a like a piece of hell. I mean, he's got that like Spectre has a portion of God's power. Maybe Arcane has a portion of hell's power. Something I didn't think of till right now when you said that.
That is definitely possible. I mean, and when you can get concern out of the Monitor, and I believe her name was Harbinger, I believe is who that was.
Yeah, that's well.
Uh,
She had a different name, I thought, but Harbinger. Yes, that's what she goes by a lot.
yeah, but it's like that's concern because these are two people that as we know, are pretty powerful, and so for them to kind of be worried a little bit of like what's going on here, that's setting up for some dangerous territory.
Exactly. I also want to point out that this is a little bit of an Easter egg. This one page with the Monitor and Harbinger, which our channel is named after. So I just want to point out that's the Crisis that we named our channel after for the books that come after the Crisis is over, post-Crisis chat. So it's almost like a little shout out to us.
It kind of does feel like that, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then we switch back to Arkham Asylum, where Woodrue is screaming about something coming out of the bayou. He can also sense Arcane's power, which is kind of interesting to me because Woodrue was cut off from the green, but he's Arcane is still so powerful that Woodrue can sense him.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling we were going to be seeing Woodrow again, but I didn't realize it was going to be this soon, and he was going to be like freaking out over Arcane. Um,
Ex- Yeah,
but to me, the thing is like Woodrow was not the thing that got to me. Like there was the one specific thing in the on this page that both the doctors and nurses and even myself was kind of like, okay, now you know we're in trouble when this happens, and I think you know what I'm talking about with
yeah.
the Joker stopped laughing. And if the Joker's not laughing, then you know basically the world's coming to an end.
Yes, exactly. And yep, I definitely have that in my notes about the Joker. And I also wanted to mention, in regards to the Joker, Woodrue, Arkham Asylum, I do really enjoy these little dips into the rest of the DC universe to show us that we are living in a shared universe. That's one of the things I really love about comics is those reminders that all these things are happening together at the same time.
Yeah. Interesting side note too, because I'm going to assume that probably quite a few of our viewers are around our age, and so maybe grew up in the same era. It kind of just recently now reminded me of back in the day with the X-Men animated series, and there would be episodes when there was like I think it was during Dark Phoenix or something like that, and you would see like little glimpses of other Marvel characters just like they're showing like the scenery and stuff, and maybe Daredevil would swing by. You see Spider-Man doing his thing, and it's just to kind of show you that this is the same universe. Maybe they're not going to be in the episode all that, but just that one little glimpse, and I kind of feel like that's what you're getting here.
Yes, exactly. And I love it. I'm here for it. Then we switch to Arcane, who decides to go walking in the swamp, and it starts snowing. And Arcane is walking in the swamp, and it's snowing, and he has no shirt on, and just some jeans. And I'm like, dude is gonna catch a cold.
I would be more concerned if it wasn't for the fact that he's already been dead and returned, possibly a ruler of hell now. And I mean, I, obviously this is a special kind of evil that's not affected by anything because he was able to have sex with his own, niece. So,
Yeah, I think I'm done revisiting that. Because I'm over that at this point. No, it's fine. So then we get this full page of Swamp Thing walking through the swamp with the snow coming down around him and piling up on the ground and piling up on the trees. And God, this image is so good. Why can't Bissett do this all the time? Because he's rushed. I know we figured that out, but I would love it if this art were this high quality all the time in the book.
oh yeah, I mean, like that's pages like that. Like I love the splash pages in Swamp Thing. They've been really really good. They've been like things that I think I've said a couple times now that if they were to release these as posters, I would absolutely buy these and just wallpaper my entire house with Swamp Thing posters.
Yeah, I put in my notes that Arcane calls out for Holland, but he doesn't really call out. I'm looking at the word bubble now, and it's not like yelling. It's not like bold. There's no exclamation point. It's just Holland, very simply with a dot dot dot. So he didn't call out. He simply said very you know plainly Holland.
He he lovingly whispered it across the wind.
And then we see Swamp Thing, like, I don't know what's happening to him. I think maybe he tripped over something. I'm not sure. But he goes down. He goes down on the ground. There's a lot of red in the background, for the anger that's coming up on him.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought like maybe Arcane attacked him, did some kind of spell, did something like was that was going on. But now I wonder, like you're right, did he just trip? Like, was that kind of like enough to freak him out and he just stumbled on the ground?
I think maybe he wasn't expecting Matt to be there. And Swamp Thing at that point, when he gets up off the ground, he even says, Matt? Almost like a question. Not almost like a question, it has a question mark there. And Arcane's like, Matthew Cable no longer exists. Guess again. And Swamp Thing's just like, Arcane. And then Arcane is like, Arcane! Big, big word bubble, large letters filled in with red color, lots of
You
extra
know,
A's.
yeah, I was gonna say you know you're like a whole nother level of supervillain when you're so egotistical that you yell out your own name.
Yeah, I agree. And Swamp Thing, realizing at this point that it's Arcane, says, "Kill me if you can." To which Arcane replies, "I have Abigail." That literally, it's doing it now. It's giving me goosebumps. It gave me goosebumps when I read it, and it's doing it right now as I'm, talking about it again. Like, damn, that's
It's a good villain move. I mean, like the whole antagonizing the hero and then just being like, "Oh yeah, I could kill you, but I'm gonna toy with you and I got basically your girl." Last few issues and stuff, I've kind of felt like there's something more to Swamp Thing and Abby. Like this feels like this is more than like brother sister relationship thing going on here.
yeah, I agree. And it's at that point that we see all the bad things and all the bad people that were now they specify within 200 miles of Arcane. All those they all suddenly decide at the same time that they need to make a trip to the Louisiana swamp.
Uh, I mean, I guess that's the perfect place for, a convention for serial killers and scumbags. I mean, I kind of feel bad for Louisiana because it seems like such a lovely place, but apparently, in this year in the 80s, this is like the place where they all wanted to go hang out.
I guess so. And then I thought we were going to get a fight between Swamp Thing and Arcane, but no, Arcane just walks back to his house and Swamp Thing follows him.
There's a lot of build up for a fight in this series, and very rarely does the fight actually kind of happen. Sometimes it kind of feels a little bit like almost like Doctor Who at times, where it's like, like when I first discovered Doctor Who, I was coming from American television, so I'm expecting him to come out guns a blazing, kicking butt and everything like that. And then most of the time he just kind of talks the villain down. Maybe there's a cup of tea involved. Some like British insults.
Could it be the British are less violent than us? Nah, that can't be it.
No, I mean, they had Jack the Ripper. No, it's not that at all.
So Arcane's apparently going back to prepare for all his visitors, back to his house. Swamp Thing follows him into the house. He finds Abby laying dead on the bed, which is interesting because we saw Abby get pulled down into the floor, her physical body pulled down into the floor. But now it makes me wonder if maybe that was still part of her dream in the last episode, the last issue.
Or
Huh.
is this not Abby?
Ooh, that could be it too. And Swamp Thing demands that Arcane tell him how long Abby has been dead, and Arcane just laughs. And then that's where the issue.
It's a good ending for the issue. And I just want to say, like, I could be, I'm not 100% sure because I've never read the first appearance of Swamp Thing. I believe he first appeared in either House of Secrets or House of Mystery or
I think
something.
it's House of Mystery. Let us know in the comments if you know.
Yeah, please let us know because I want to be corrected on this because I remember seeing the cover of the issue and it was always gorgeous looking. But it kind of reminds me of that callback to that with the him going into the bedroom because I remember like that was kind of how you first saw Swamp Thing for the very first time on that cover was Abby's brushing her hair at the table, and then Swamp Thing's coming through the curtains, and you kind of got that little callback to that in this issue.
Interesting. Wasn't it Bernie Wrightson who did the artwork on that issue? That very first one?
I believe so. I believe because I know Wrightson and Ween created Swamp Thing, and so I believe that they did that first appearance of his.
If you know for sure, let us know in the comments. I give this issue a 4.25 out of 5 evil children who microwave kittens.
Oh,
The
I was
art
so hoping. I was so hoping you were gonna go with the microwave kittens. I'm so happy.
The art in this issue was great most of the time, a few faces aside. Story was great. You could feel the emotion coming from the pages as Swamp Thing realized who is riding around in Matt's body, and even feel even more emotion as Swamp Thing finds Abby dead. I know a bit about what's going to be coming, and based on what I know about what's coming, this was a great setup issue. And that's why I've given it the highest score out of any Swamp Thing comic that we've reviewed so far. 4.25 out of 5 is my highest, and it's my favorite issue so far.
I'm gonna give it, the nerd in me almost wants to go 9.95 to kind of give like a throwback to the old 90s Turtles movie, but I know we can't go that high. So I'm gonna go with a 4.5 on this one because between last issue and this issue, it's like even though I don't know what's going to happen, it's a beautiful setup with the reveal of Arcane from last issue. But then like you knew it was coming, but still the reveal and the backstory of how it happened, like everything just it felt like this was really, really good, really well done. This felt like Alan Moore, like starting to kind of find his groove, like he's getting to that peak Alan Moore storyteller thing. And so I was really, really happy with this. This is like probably the last two issues have been my favorite two issues of Swamp Thing so far.
Yeah, they're up there for sure. And I know what's coming in the future, and I know who's coming. One of my favorite DC Universe characters is gonna make his debut here very soon. I'm stoked for it. I can't wait.
Oh,
Um,
all right. Well, you basically just gave it away to me. Like I don't even have to know who your favorite DC character, but just you saying, I was like, I already put two and two together. I know what's coming. I know it's coming.
well, I do want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. We are really glad that you're here with us. We do this for the love of the comics medium.
We're coming to the closing of our show, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. We are really glad you're here with us watching. We couldn't do this without you, so we do appreciate all the love and support for the comics medium. That's why we're doing this. That's why you're watching this. So, we're all happy you're here.
Absolutely. And please join us on our Patreon where we have our Post Crisis Chat book club for our members. We let our patrons get their say on the book. And once we have some of you giving us some feedback on the issues that we're reading, we're going to read some of your comments on the channel. Maybe even let us know what your rating for the comic book was. We'll throw that in there too.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. And also, don't forget to check out the description for the links to our Amazon affiliate page. That's where you can kind of go and pick up some of these books that we're reading, various formats. You got like the collected edition, got the hardcovers, you got the absolutes, you got all kinds of stuff that you can get, and it's going to give us a little bit of money, and we would appreciate that. And especially me, because I can actually afford a shirt that's not like dripping off of me, and you won't see my beautiful neckline. So
We want to
it's
remind you too, if you purchase from our Amazon affiliate links, it does not cost you anything extra. It's the same price whether you use our affiliate links or not. It's just a great way to support the channel.
exactly. Yeah, we're not gonna jack up the price on you. We're not those kind of people.
No, no, we're not. Not like Bezos. So you can follow us on Blue Sky. The link will be in the description. We'll be announcing there when we post new episodes. Also, if you could like this video and give the channel a subscribe, leave a comment down below. Leave lots of comments down below. Tag your friends in the comments and ask them questions about the show or tell them how great the show is. Those things really help support and grow the channel so we can keep doing what it is we do. Again, it's just for the love of comics. That's why we're here. We both grew up on them. We both love them. We want to sit around and have a conversation about comics just like you would do at your local comic book store when you were a kid.
Exactly. So yeah, like comment, like share this video as often as you can. I don't care if you have to arcane yourself and resurrect people from the dead to bring them back to life to watch this channel. If you can do it, good on you, and we would love that support.
Absolutely. So this is where our sign off is going to go once we figure out what it is. But we haven't figured out what it is yet.
Yeah, I don't really have anything off the top. Well, I mean, I do have something I can say. I mean, it's kind of corny, but I think you would appreciate it more than anybody. So that's going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to check back next time. Same swampy time, same swampy channel. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to throw something at me because I know how much you hate 60s Batman.
No, no, I was actually going to point out that I have the 60s Batman. Well, at least the Bang Pow, no, Bam Pow Bang on my cup.
All right. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Catch you all later, folks.
Thanks for joining us.